Take the boy and go hide in the loft.
I'm here to collect Mr. Hawthorne's rent! Shut that squealing! Or I can open the window! Christ almighty!
Johnny Fletcher busted into a farmhouse property cleanup.
You bring me back that stuff to false.
Well, look what we have here.
Please don't kill me.
Gentleman John Fletcher! Damn it!
Johnny Fletcher! Don't make me chase you! I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder that family.
That don't break me down to me. You're a bounty hunter. You're a wanted man. Here.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find me, unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Stand down and no one has to die today.
This only ends one way.
He'll kill you all.
Why not take your chances in a prison cell?
Alright, I'm coming out.
My lord, I have a report.
Speak.
Our latest assassination attempt on Lady Nocturne has failed.
I can see stronger measures are needed. Begin phase 2.
Captured! The notorious Lady Nocturne has been brought in through the valiant efforts of the Void Cobras.
Get on the damn person.
Prisoner, take 5 steps, then stop and turn your right.
But the pirates of Velix Mortis are far from defeated.
My lord, I have a report.
Let's cut to the chase, since we both know that this isn't a social call and you didn't come here to waste time.
Fine. High Command is gambling that the attempt on your life by your so-called friends has made you willing to cooperate. Am I wasting my time now?
What fate will befall the disgraced former pirate?
The Minotaur sends his regards, traitor.
What does your High Command want, and what are they offering in return?
High Command wants many things, but it wants to show a good faith first.
Go.
Bravo 2, give us support.
What next for now infamous mercenaries, the Void Cobras?
I want every last pirate I used to run with dead. I don't want to be watching over my shoulder every hour of every day.
Now you die!
Will the Void Cobras become targets of Lady Nocturne's former pirate comrades?
Attention, crash override. This is Freighter Ebony Hawk. My ship just lost all power and thrust. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
There truly is no honor among thieves. You rabble will turn on each other at the slightest provocation.
Okay, 5, moving past you.
Find out on the next episode of Star Citizen Nocturne.
Jameson, you copy?
Touch me now, I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you.
Jameson, we require immediate emergency extract.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of hot over there.
Of interest in my life to idiots.
Okay, got it working, Sarge.
Alright, Corporal. Good work. Follow me! Y'all remember what Sarge said? Stay together, keep comms clear, and the heads on the swivel. Clear. Okay, we're gonna secure it, then sweep the entire ship for survivors. Channel, you take point. Doc, you're behind me. Corporal, you're bringing up the rear.
Understood, Sergeant.
Taking track. Oh shit, I just saw something. god, oh my god!
Get the hell out of here!
Get him off me, get him off me, get him off me! They're getting in my armor! Ah!
I got into collecting bounties when a gang of bandits bushwhacked my wife, my best friend Coyote, and me. Meet the Jones Brothers.
To take a look at the situation in which you find yourself.
That's Joshua.
Can have real bad.
What's the Indian word for
Next to him is Rufus the Doofus.
Like, I don't know. You're just trying to make me look dumb.
Alright, I want to
Next
see
to him is
rifles on the
Lyman.
ground.
Remember those faces.
And 6.
You'll see him again.
8 hands praising Jesus.
The other ones, well, ain't no use in introducing. They're all dead.
Run!
Obadiah, get the saddlebags!
I got him!
I later discovered the Jones Brothers were all wanted men. I figured I might as well get paid for taking my revenge. Man, we still wanted for justice.
Poster still on the wall?
So I hunted down the ones we didn't kill. Lyman, he sang like a bird. Rufus and Joshua were smuggling contraband down the river. Always to the same spot. I found a nice perch on a bluff above the river where I knew they would eventually be. During the war, I was a sharpshooter. Coyote's Whitworth came in handy. For weeks, I tracked them.
Mama.
And then I killed them.
If you like our content, we'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. Help us extend our reach by sharing our video content. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, also leave us a comment on some of our videos.
It's about to get loud. My next hit single is going to be this on the kazoo. All right. We have joining us tonight, we've got Brian Nathan, who is running for, is it State Senate?
State Senate, District 14.
All right.
Excellent.
And as you can see, I'm wearing the appropriate color shirt as well, because the beard's got that on.
I clearly didn't get the memo.
What's up, fam of Liberty? For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm Big Sarge, and over there on that side is Admin Matt. And joining us, we have Brian Nathan, as denoted in the stream. His URL is right down there, so click on the website, go visit his campaign site, see if you can help out, volunteer, contribute time, donate a little bit of the filthy lucre. How's it going, Brian?
It's been a wild month and a half. I don't know if you can tell from looking behind me. I'm on the road right now. I'm over in Orlando, a lovely Hilton Garden Inn. But
that looks like hotel wallpaper.
Yeah, it's great, man. Let me tell you. It's been a whirlwind, but I'm loving it. So I declared back in August, right after Jay Collins became our lieutenant governor, literally the same day. His announcement went out. I registered as a candidate for District 14, and it's been nonstop since then. What do you want to know, man? There's a lot going on. Where do you want me to start?
Start wherever you want. I read your bio, and it says that you are a veteran, and you're also heavily involved in unions.
Yeah. So I served in the Navy for 6 years as a cryptologist, deployed to the Gulf 3 times. What was that?
That's CTO or CTI?
I was at CTT. I started off as an EW. I was actually in school when they merged our rates. And so, yeah, I deployed on the USS Mason twice, once on the USS Carr. That's a destroyer and a frigate. When it was time for me to go to shore duty, they offered me Crane, Indiana at an Army base. And I was like, man, there's a JIC open down in Miami. I'd much rather go to Miami, work in an intelligence center than a depot level repair facility on the same ancient piece of gear I've been working on for the past 6 years. And I decided my time was up, got out, went to school at the University of Tampa, got my degree, ended up in the trades. My father-in-law tried to get me into the IBEW, which is the union I'm a member of now, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, in 2008, which, let me tell you guys, that was the best time to get out of the military, when you had guaranteed income and health care, because no one was hiring when I got out. Got my degree. Like I said, I ended up going back to the trades, did my apprenticeship 5 years as an electrician. I spent that time working industrial facilities. So we're talking powerhouses, Mosaic, which if you guys aren't from Florida, you probably don't know Mosaic. But if you buy fertilizer at Home Depot, it's made by them. Florida is filled with phosphate, so they have mines, they strip mine, they have chemical plants, and that's where I spent my 9 years in the field working. I was elected to the executive board, and the business manager asked me to come into the office to work the political program during our midterm elections. And it was supposed to be a temporary gig. I've been there for 3 years now. So he must have liked what I did. So right now I'm an assistant business manager and organizer. What that means is I talk to unorganized electricians and convince them to join the union. I have a special place in my heart for veterans. So we have teamed up with Helmets to Hard Hats. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're with the North American Building Trades Union, and they talk to veterans who are transitioning about the building trades. If you want to be an electrician, a welder, a plumber, a pipe fitter, whatever, they can help get you placed. So we see a lot of veterans coming from MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa straight to our apprenticeship program. And veterans do the best in the trades. You show up on time, show up 15 minutes early. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. 8 hours work for 8 hours pay. And, man, it's not hard to succeed. You just got to show up and want to work. So I spend my days talking to people about the benefits of being in the union. What got me to where I am today and why I'm talking to you and this whole thing about running for Senate District 14 is part of my job is I go up to Tallahassee every year and we lobby legislators there about bills that can harm working families. So last year, Jay Collins had a bill that he put out, Senate Bill 918, if you guys ever want to look it up. It would have changed the working hour requirements for 14 and 15-year-olds. So 15-year-olds basically would have been able to work unlimited hours during the week, removed all restrictions whatsoever on 16 and 17-year-olds, and loosened some restrictions for 14-year-olds. So he was trying to roll back the clock on working protections for kids, because that's where the labor movement got started, was getting kids out of the factories, out of the coal mines. And everybody talks about, someone's got to do something. Well, I was in a unique place to do something. I had the support of my union and my business manager to do this, because let me tell you, running a campaign is not cheap and it consumes a ton of your time. On my way over here on the drive, I was talking to my campaign manager about financing. We have to file a campaign report next week, as a matter of fact. And we're looking at our budget. What do we have to cut? What can we do with the money we have? How are we going to raise more money? And working class people can't do that. The way the laws in Florida are structured, state senator, you get paid $30,000. That's what they pay you to run this state. It's $30,000 a year. So who can afford to run for office on $30,000 a year? Lawyers, rich people in business, not working class folks. So yeah. I had the opportunity. I decided to take it.
So knowing that Florida's political climate is a pretty complex animal, and you're faced with a whole host of issues, some very unique from the rest of the country. Where do you see your efforts going to best benefit the constituents you want to represent?
So we've had a little bit of progress on minimum wage. Florida is phasing in a raise to minimum wage. It's $1 every year, up to $15. I believe we're at $12 right now, going to $13. What's really hurting people is housing prices, insurance prices. So when we bought our house, my mother retired. She didn't want to buy another house. She moved in with us. We bought a slightly bigger house. I had a mother-in-law suite. I think we paid $350 for it back in 2017. I consistently get offers. There's $700,000 to $800,000, which sounds amazing, but I can't afford to buy anything else.
Right.
Insurance rates are going through the roof. So add that on top of the cost of food, on top of gas. Wages in Florida haven't kept up with the rest of the country and the price increases. So where I see what I can do is fixing the way the insurance system works. The funding requirements for homeowners insurance companies, they don't have to keep much in the way of liquidity. So, I mean, what do we get down here in Florida every year? Hurricanes. 2 good hurricanes in a year can bankrupt most of these companies because they keep so little in the way of liquidity. And then we have an insurance company of last resort, Citizens. I'm sure you guys have seen it on the news. every year the government has to prop it up with tax dollars because more and more companies are getting out of Florida. Those homeowners get shunted to Citizens. So we just keep dumping money into Citizens with no real reform on how the system is run. That's the first.
It's actually becoming such an issue that it's affecting the insurance rates for folks even as far north as myself up in Pennsylvania, with a lot of the bigger companies not being able to stay profitable. So they're jacking up rates on everybody else to try to help cover the bet, and it just keeps going further and further out, like you said. It's absolutely wild.
I think, so I'm part of the Central Labor Council, which is affiliated with the AFL-CIO. Our president for our area is also the president of the Teachers Association in Polk. They're negotiating a raise right now. I saw her post, and the first offer from the county was nothing for teachers' assistants. Basically, if you're not a teacher, the only people that would get raises are teachers with 3 or more years experience. And the raise they proposed would have totaled $45.11 before taxes per month. Florida has the worst pay rate for teachers in the country. We're the third most populous state. Why do you think our education system has problems down here?
How do they expect that to work?
If I knew that, man, I could wave a magic wand and fix it. I don't know what they're expecting. My thought is, and bear with me on this, a couple of years ago, they changed the way vouchers work down here. Pull more money out of the public school system to private schools and charter schools. I think it's you get $8,000 a year or something like that now. I think you're going to see more of that, pulling more money out of these failing public schools or struggling public schools because they're not funding teachers and they're underfunding the school system. So what do you expect to happen? So they're structuring these systems to fail so they can shift the burden, shift the cost to the private system.
So what can you on the state legislature do to reverse this pattern, to improve it?
We can change the way those voucher systems work. Right now, if a student takes, if a school takes a student with a voucher, they're under no obligation to keep them. So let's say they take someone with a voucher for whatever reason, the student gets removed from that school, that money doesn't follow the student, it stays with the school. So fixing how that works, because choice is here to stay. I mean, I'm under no illusions that these type of systems are here to stay, but they need to work in such a way that we're not bankrupting the public school system to fund the private school system.
That's what I don't get. It's like, why is it here to stay? Why can't we just like say, you know what, we're going to just delete all this shit?
That is the unfortunate political reality of Florida. Republicans have been in charge of Florida for 30 years. Democrats have not held the governor's mansion since the late 90s. Since the late 90s, it's just slid more and more in Republicans' favor through gerrymandering and a bunch of other stuff. We have to claw back the seats we can right now because that's the position we're in. Democrats are highly outnumbered. There's a supermajority in the legislature right now, which means the Republicans don't need Democrats. But we can break that supermajority if we flip 2 seats. This seat right here and any other seat in the Senate that's up for election, we can break the Republican supermajority, and then you can start to actually hold them accountable, really push back on this legislation. But until there's more parity between the parties in the legislature, we're fighting the battles we can fight. That's the unfortunate reality of Florida politics down here.
Now we're seeing nationwide, the average is somewhere between, give me a second here, about 20 and 22 points of a swing versus the where the polling is on a generic Republican versus Democrat ballot versus where it was with the results of the 2024 election. So we've seen that trend hold through pretty much all of the special and off-season elections that have happened since then, in the months since. I don't know how sophisticated the polling data is that you're able to access at this point, or what it's telling you about the district. And I'm sure you've got an uphill fight either way, but is it trending favorably for you? Do you believe that this is looking more and more like it might break it differently than it did in 2024?
If we get a special election, that's a big if right now. The momentum is definitely on my side. Over in Orlando, early September, there were 2 special elections, and the Democrats won running away. I can't remember the districts, honestly, but it was something like 75% to 25% and like 72 to 28 or something along those lines. And the voter difference between Democrats, Republicans, and MPAs, it's more or less evenly split in this district. The Republicans do have a minor advantage, but where the win comes is from the NPAs, the non-party affiliated. That your independents, that's where the win comes from. So those are the people I have to get out and convince. Those are people I have to door knock. I mean, yes, talk to Republicans, talk to people on my side, but the majority of the effort is winning those people in the middle.
Yeah, it's their basic to the election, right? There was a campaign chief, old friend of mine, who once said something to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing badly here, but there's the people who are never going to vote for you no matter what. The people who are going to vote for you no matter what because they want someone else in, and the folks that haven't made up their mind yet.
Yeah, we've had a lot of transplants from the Midwest over the last 10 years. I mean, 75 runs all the way up to Chicago. That's where a lot of people come down on the West Coast. That's who's changed the election. Excuse me.
My apologies for the phone noise in the background. There is my good friend Spam Risk calling in the middle of the broadcast. Excellent, love that.
But yeah, it's the moderates we got to find that don't necessarily identify with the brand of Democrats or the brand of Republicans.
So, what do you find are the issues that resonate with the moderates that you're going to have to find on this? What are those pushes that you need to find?
It's some of the stuff I touched on earlier. It's this general affordability crisis that's been exacerbated down here in Florida. Like I said, you have a lot of people moving from up north. It started during COVID, people making money, California money or New York money, coming down here, buying up houses. I mean, you can't find a studio apartment for under $1,500 to $1,800 in Tampa if you're lucky. Housing prices are just so out of whack, and that's what's driving a lot of this dissatisfaction. No one's really addressing this. You see a lot of people talking about it, but nothing really gets done. So being able to afford a house, sending your kids to good schools, sending kids to safe schools, having paved roads, it's nothing that's sexy that's going to grab headlines, but it's those bread and butter issues of roof over your head, food on your table, clothes on your back. That type of stuff is where most people are and what they're concerned about.
I think that's a pretty fair estimate. I mean, that's been pretty consistent with just about every candidate we've had on this year, with as far as the issues they're seeing in their districts, their homes, their communities. So I hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you were you are a union organizer, and one of the things that you have to do is go out and talk to non-union electricians, was it, and convince them to join the union. How does that conversation usually go? Like, why would an electrician not be in a union, first of all, and then second of all, like, what do you say to them to kind of convince them? Because I'm fascinated by unions, because I work in industries that are like, yeah, we're never going to have a union.
So a lot of time is spent on the phone, but when you're hitting job sites, the first part of it is sneaking on the job site. I mean, that's the fun part of the job, I'll be honest with you. You put on a high-vis vest, a white hard hat, and nobody asks any questions, especially if you show up at like time.
Like you belong there.
With them.
Right.
And I've gone on the, I don't know if I should say this where it's being recorded, but job sites I probably shouldn't have been on that were guarded, I walked on them. So But when you have the talk with them, you just have a conversation like we're having now. Like, so how are they treating you? That's usually how I open up. And construction workers, they like to bitch. So they'll tell us what's going on. There's material problems. They're not paying us on time, whatever. And that's usually the in, because then you can start talking about, well, if you're in a union, you're protected by a contract. The contractor actually signs that they're going to pay you on this day. And if they don't, there are repercussions. They have to pay waiting time or something like that. And then you can start teasing out, like, what are they really concerned with? Right now, the big one that I see almost every day is health insurance. Employers are cutting or pulling back on offering health insurance. The health insurance we have through my union, we're self-funded, is better than I've had anywhere else. And that's what usually sells people on it is you have health insurance. You don't pay a monthly premium. You just pay your copay when you go to the doctor. That's really how it works.
That's pretty damn good. Yeah, pretty damn good deal.
Yeah, and then you get into, well, now I've got 3 pensions. What kind of retirement do you have?
Mm-hmm.
They might have a 401k, and the best match I ever come across is like 5%. So, and then you start talking about all these other benefits that are there. And a lot of times people are resistant, especially in the South, about joining a union because we don't have the same culture that you see up in Chicago, New York, or Boston around unions. But it's easy to organize up there when you've got 80% market share. We've got 7% market share down here in Florida. I mean, it's an uphill battle, but that also means I can fire in any direction and there's opportunity. So
that's a good point.
Yeah. So, and what happens is you steal one of the good guys, the foreman, the top performer off a job site. Well, he's talking to his buddies back on the job site like, hey, man, this is a sweet gig. You need to come down here and check this out. And there have been a couple contractors that, you bring 1 or 2 over and then it's a flood. Then all of a sudden the contractor's calling you like, why are you stealing my guys? I'm like, hey, man, I just talked to them. They made the decision on their own. They're grown-ups. So what can we do to help you with your manpower needs? And that's how you flip the conversation and then start trying to sign a contractor.
So places that are not unionized, like video game industry, for example, like that's my thing because that's what I did for a while. And video game industry is total garbage. Like, on the one hand, you feel like a rock star when you go to conventions and stuff, and people are like, oh, I'm a big fan of this game. I love this property. I love this studio. But then on the other, the second that game is released, it's like, all right, we're laying off 70% of the studio. And over the next 2 years, we're going to lay off an additional 10%. I think we just lost him.
Oh.
That hotel internet connection. Last night
the
I stayed at the
Santas.
Holiday Inn.
Santas doesn't
When
like
did he
to
say he
talk
was
to us.
staying? There he is.
All right, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened.
Is your hotel internet?
Yeah.
It happens.
All right. I heard most of that, you work in the video game industry, you're going to conventions. Can you finish that question?
Yeah, and then as soon as your game is released, basically you're going to lose over half of your studio because everybody that helped push the game to launch is now obsolete. You only need a handful of people until you decide to do your next expansion, at which point you start hiring people back. And one of the things that happens in the video game industry is they're like, all right, well, your salary, so you're going to work 20 hours a day until we get this game released. And you can spend 4 hours at your desk sleeping. So not really, but yeah.
I do know some studios have started to organize, usually with CWA, that's communication workers. I honestly don't know how they've negotiated their contracts. I imagine they've negotiated break time and time off into those contracts. Like I said, I'm not really sure how they've landed on crunch time or anything like that. But if anybody is ever interested in forming a union or joining a union, your best bet is to find the local hall and contact them and figure out what you've got to do. If there are any electricians out there, go to ibw.org and they'll direct you in the right point you in the right direction.
I feel like everything should be a union at this point.
It's really not something that you see in the tech fields.
Yeah,
it's really something I think partly because it's such a narrower profession in terms of who owns basically all the different companies there, that if you get blacklisted, you're in a serious world of trouble, because there is only so many different larger companies that can hire you, like Microsoft or Accenture or Google or something. If they decide you're persona non grata, that affects not only you working for them or their subsidiaries, but their clients too.
So I know a lot of like the IBW members that work for Verizon or Frontier, there are clauses in their contract about like firing procedures, how you actually go about it, firing for cause and demonstrations and all that. So it's not, they can still fire you, but it's not, it's just as easy as showing you the door. So again, video games, that's not really my industry, so I don't necessarily want to say the wrong thing there, but definitely if you're in the video game industry, contact the CWA. I know they've organized studios in the recent past, but yeah, I really don't know what else to say about organizing a video game studio. I'd be happy to do it, negotiate you guys a contract.
I'd be more him, less of me. I'm corporate IT in my day job, and it's much the same though. It's you're going to have some 80-hour weeks. You're going to have something, you're salaried, and there's not much you can do about it either way. And a lot of it is that they need you to do work when everybody else isn't there, but they also need you to be there to help the people when the other people are there. So you're kind of working a double shift. Like you said, it's probably something for maybe the communications union or something along those lines. Or
yeah, so I mean, if you're going to talk about like handling shift work, like we have shift differentials built into our contracts. When I was on my tools and I was a foreman, if they called us out in the middle of the night because some critical piece of gear was down, even if I had to show up for 20 minutes, flip a breaker, turn it back on, that was a minimum of 4-hour show up time. Like if you were there for 30 minutes or 2 hours, you still got paid for 4 hours. So those were some of the ways that we handled that type of stuff where, yeah, you can call us out, and I understand it's critical, but you're going to respect our time for it too, that we're just not on tap for whenever you feel you might need us. You're going to pay for extra time away from our families.
Yeah.
In order to incentivize, one, people to do this type of work, and then two, make sure the employer and the customer really need you there. They're just not keeping you around doing busy work or on standby.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it can be a bit hostile to even have the conversation.
Yeah, and it's getting more fraught. So right now, if anybody is going through a union election, unless the employer voluntarily recognizes the union, that has to be certified by the NLRB. And
lose him?
I think he's frozen.
I do too, or it's a very long dramatic pause.
Let it go.
Oh,
I got the kazoo on my desk. It's hilarious.
Yeah, Wayne Sloan, the right to work states definitely do have a lot of tools for the companies to fuck with the unions. It's very unfortunate.
Right to work states.
Yeah, that's what I'm stuck in.
So we're talking about being in Florida. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Sorry about that, man. This Wi-Fi
He
sucks.
started moving again. I was like, oh.
It's okay. All you missed was a lot of kazoo.
I was about to start talking shit about hurricanes because I'm looking at the news and there's like 2 tropical something that are starting
depressions.
To form. Yeah. Something about a Fujiwara effect or something where the 2 hurricanes kind of like
Yeah, I don't need to hear about that right now. I'm still fixing damage from the last one.
Oh boy. Yeah. Sorry. So back on track here. Sarge, you had started to ask questions.
What was our track? Huh?
Oh, okay.
What was our track? I get distracted.
We had talked about we had started to talk about the issues in Florida, and you had asked a question about the unions and his organizing efforts, and then you had said, for example, your work when you were a video game developer, and that
and then
that got us completely
that for a while.
That got us a little off track.
I think we were talking about companies not recognizing unions or something. Like, is that legal? Like, can they do that and just be like, your union can?
I mean, you tell me what Amazon does, if it's legal or not. Teamsters are constantly trying to organize different distribution facilities. And what happened in Staten Island? Like, they just said, no, we're not going to recognize it. You have enough cards signed. You have enough people that want to join. It needs to go to an election, which has to be certified by the NLRB, which is part of the Department of Labor. We don't have enough, like I said, we don't have enough people on the NLRB to actually certify those elections right now. So any elections out there for unionization are pretty much stalled until we have minimum of 3 people on the NLRB.
And for anyone who's following along who's not familiar with the terminology, the NLRB is the National Labor Relations Board. I was following along and then realized, oh wait, we might have people who didn't catch that.
Unions are just as bad as the military with the acronyms. So
that's fair. That's fair. And obviously Trump has put his gigantic fat sausage fingers on the scale to make the NLRB as anti-worker as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, we just had when he canceled all the clean energy projects, there was a local up in Maine. The business manager was telling his members, like, we've got work booked through 2027. You guys don't have to worry about going to work for the next 2 years. They pulled all that funding for the clean energy projects because it's wind farms and solar and all that up in Maine. And he goes, after that happened, the next meeting, he told his members, half of you may be out of work by August. So
that's awful.
Yeah, it's getting rough out there.
Yeah, where I currently work, I won't say the name of the company, but they've just gone through some serious layoffs, and part of it is the cooling of the market and lack of demand for steel, and part of it is for just the tariffs on materials coming into the U.S. that are just absolutely killing us. And you know what? Company management's just going to go, all right, we'll just close plants in the U.S. and move it overseas.
Yeah. Thankfully,
a lot of that steel in the U.S.
Yeah. Thankfully, a lot of our work are capital projects, so that money's already been spent. That doesn't mean they won't necessarily change the scope, but at least for the next year and a half, we're probably okay. I'm not going to say a great position, but we'll have employment. After that, it's anybody's guess. So,
yeah, it's not looked great across the board, and I don't know what anyone's in a position to do these days to avert the cliff edge we seem to be heading right for. At least none of us can avert it. So, getting on to your election and the upcoming race. Now you're up. Wow.
There's no cuts on a live stream, man.
I know. Big Sarge will fix it in post.
Back to one.
But I was going to ask, is your election coming up this year or is it next year with the midterms?
Next year. If I get a special election, I'll have to run next year anyways, regardless of whether or not I get a special election. But the next session for the Florida Senate is in January. So in order to seat someone from a special election, it needs to be announced like today in order to have enough time to get through the process by January. Because committee weeks, all the committee assignments are done. Committee weeks start in October. So bills are going to start being filed in the next 2 weeks.
So they're probably not going to do it for this year then.
No one can really read those tea leaves because they've done it in the past where they had people seated in the House or the Senate in the middle of session. So it kind of depends if the governor feels the need to do it, even though he's legally obligated to do it. He's been sued 4 times over this very issue, and he's lost every single time.
So what? Oh, pardon me. So what options are there to compel him to do what the law demands?
I don't have any options. It's kind of at his whim. It just says he needs to announce the special election in consultation with the Secretary of State. That's all it says. There's no timeline. There's nothing.
So given where the populace feel is at the moment as far as the political winds blow, it sounds like it's probably to his advantage that he just doesn't do what he's supposed to and just lets it hang out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope he would do what he's legally obligated to do, but I have to plan for the election next year. If the special election is announced, we have a plan in place to change gears. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but someone's revving their engine outside. To change gears immediately and switch it up, and because that's an entirely different type of campaign. But right now, my targets are set on August of 26 for the primary.
All right. And we definitely have the your site's URL up there. So if anybody would like to contribute and help him out here, whether it be this year or next year, there it is.
Greatly appreciate it.
Brian for Florida?
No, Brian for FL. If you go to Brian for Florida, you're going to get a very different type of candidate.
Apologies.
One I'm sure the both of you will not like.
Brian for FL.
Oh, now I gotta have.
Oh,
go take a look, man.
Now he's going.
I'm gonna have my Marco Rubio moment here. Hold on.
This is
Brian Hodges. He has a very punchable face. Like right off the bat, I pull up the website and it's like he looks like a smarmy Dan Aykroyd, but like 50 pounds lighter and definitely like Republican. Like this dude's face, like I instantly felt like this surge of rage, like right about here, and it migrated up here, and I was like, look at this guy.
Please don't give money to him.
What's with that hair, bro? I can't talk. I can't talk. I got like this weird mop going on. I need a haircut. Anyway, fuck that dude. Can we say fuck on the live stream? We can say.
Yeah. I mean, you do every other week, boss. So.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I kind of got a double whammy between the military and construction. I've been learning to, clean up my language a little bit and not scare the streets.
I was trying to be respectful of you. You might have beliefs that transcend, like you go into the military, especially being in the Navy and whatnot. Like I swear, like a sailor. But then sometimes people find religion, for example, just as an example, and they, clean it up a bit. Like, my wife is a former sailor, and
so is mine, and it gets colorful, shall we say, sometimes around the house. So. But I just wanted to say that a buddy of mine from the second job that I worked after I got out of the Navy, one of the worst jobs I ever worked in my life. It was an air-conditioned, unheated warehouse in Florida. He's the one who kind of turned me on to you guys and said, hey, you need to check them out. So I've been kind of following you guys in the background a little bit.
Right on. It always helps when people have kind of an idea what they're walking into, because some people, they get on the stream and they're like, oh, I had no idea it was going to be like this, and other people are like, fuck yeah, I watch your show all the time. It's like, all right,
there is definitely a range of enthusiasm that sometimes shows up with people.
Yeah. I was like, for example, we had House Rep Ro Khanna on, and I was like, we're not going to do the standard live stream stuff that we normally do, where it's like, gunfights and punk rock with like fuck Donald Trump stuff. We'll just start it and then let him hop in, because
Not sure
Well,
where he's at. Yeah.
We had a whole meeting beforehand. We were like, okay, we're going to be very professional, organized about this. He's got a very limited time. He's a sitting U.S. rep, so he's going to have to leave to do these things. We got to get to A, B, and C. We got to go to these 3 things.
Yeah.
And about half of our staff had not been in the meeting. And he came on, and we started the intro, and one of them who had not been on just like went way off script on the questions he wanted to get to him, and we were just like, here we go. Here we go. All good questions, mind you, but it was like, these were the things we absolutely want to talk to him about. We want to talk to him about, releasing the Epstein files. We want to talk to him about the foreign policy implications of what's going on with Ukraine. And I forget what the third one is off my head. We covered like basically none of it.
Well, that was right after Charlie Kirk and
yeah, we did get pulled into that a bit, in political violence, and also he had voted against the impeachment ballot that had just come up in the House, and we wanted to get why not, and he actually had a pretty good reason for it. He had said that the impeachment was filed on the premise that Trump had violated the War Powers Act, and he said that he felt that a number of former U.S. presidents have violated that same act, and since they had never been brought up on any kind of impeachment for it, it was a bad idea to try to have that as the predicate for impeaching him when there were so many other blatant things that he has done that are unlike any other president has ever done. Things are very clear cut over the line. He says, bring me an impeachment on that, and I'm much more willing to vote for it than something that I think can be easily dismissed. And okay, you know what? That was a good thing. But when you see the headline, you've only seen, didn't vote for it. So we were able to get into that a bit, and that I thought was very useful.
Yeah, no, context matters a lot. And I think that gets missed in our age of hyperpartisanship and instant media. So,
also, clickbaity headline. Yeah. People only read the headline. They don't read the text. They don't read the body. They don't see what it's about.
Yeah, it's outrage politics, whatever drives clicks.
It does. It drives clicks. And the social media has long found that anger drives way more engagement and way more eyeball time than happiness. So Facebook and Twitter and all of them have long since decided they are going to try to show you things that make you angry.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to get you to rage bait into a conversation, because you and some other idiot arguing back and forth is putting hundreds and hundreds of comments out there. It's driving people to go to the page. It's driving views onto the ads that are running on their site, and it's populating data for them to sell to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
And it's very, very effective. And it's been psychologically designed to be very effective.
Designed to be addictive. So
it is.
I've got 2 daughters, and my wife and I made a very conscious decision, like no social media. And they fought us on it for a while. And now that they're old enough, they're like, yeah, I don't want it. And they're actually kind of coming around, like there's nothing of value for me there. And I'm like, I did one good thing as a parent, and well, I've done more than one good thing, but that was a recent victory for me, that after years of fighting with them, they saw the value of what we were trying to do. So
that's a pretty big win, though. I mean, that's a fight that a lot of parents do not win. So stake your flag in the ground and take that victory.
I'll definitely take the W.
Yeah.
You guys in the beginning had asked like what it's been like. And I didn't really go into details, but it's not all that different from organizing, honestly. Like instead of visiting job sites, I'm going to caucus meetings, but having the same types of conversations. Instead of calling up electricians, I'm calling up donors and having equally awkward conversations. But rather than quit your job and come work for the union, it's I need money. So being an organizer has been strangely preparing me for this in a way that I hadn't really anticipated, but it's nice because a lot of people go into this thinking, yeah, I'm going to go up to Tallahassee, I'm going to go up to DC and change the world. And while that's nice, the path there is it's difficult. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a difficult thing to do. You give up a lot of time. You give up a lot of time away from your family, and it can drain the energy out of you. Just, you have to make 50 calls tonight, and you get 40 of them, you go straight to voicemail. You get yelled at by 2 of them, 4 of them hang up on you. You might actually talk to 3 people, and 1 of them donates money.
Yeah. So we had a question in the chat there from a Cheeto in Delight. What would you say to him to get him to vote for you? Just, not knowing any other background on a Cheeto in Delight there.
Well, Cheeto, what else am I going to call them?
Right.
How are you doing? Are you doing better than you were 4 years ago, to echo Reagan? Is life more affordable now than it was 10 years ago? Can you buy a house? Can you afford to go to college? Can you afford to send your kids to college? I'm fighting for the people that get up, put on their boots, and go to work every day, because frankly, I'm one of them. I don't make tons of money. My wife doesn't make tons of money. We are not independently wealthy. I am blue collar. I am working class. I send my kids to public school. The only way we will turn around the politics in this state, in Florida, and I don't know where you live, is to send people to the legislature that actually reflect the constituents of that area. We can't have a legislature filled with lawyers and people from finance and expect working class people's values to be represented in a way that's meaningful. That's what I'm offering. That's what I'm bringing to the table, is that if you want someone that has largely the same lived experience as you, I'm that guy.
It's a pretty damn good answer. It's Sorkin-esque.
Thank you. Been working on that one quite a bit.
Oh, it's good. Hey, he says you've got his vote.
As long as you live in Senate District 14.
It's a
what is Senate
spiritual vote?
I don't think we could Google this, but what are the major population centers in that district?
So Tampa is in Hillsborough County. It's one of the more populous counties in Florida. It's right where I-75, 275 and I-4 meet, and I-75 as well. District 14 is kind of like the western portion of it. So it doesn't cover downtown Tampa, but just west of that. And it gets all kind of squiggly, but it more or less follows 275. Then it goes to the county line with Pinellas, which is the next county to the west, and then north to the Pasco County line. And then there's a little portion of it that swings to the east right above USF, University of South Florida. It's roughly 300,000-ish voters, a little bit more than that. So it's a decent chunk of the population. But yeah, if you're looking at a map of Tampa and the surrounding area, it's pretty much the section of the west.
That's one of our admins is from that area, I believe. Is that correct, Tim?
Yeah, Jen is in Tampa. I'm not sure exactly where. I think she's like a mile and a half from wherever the water is, like Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's not hard. I live about a mile and a half from the water, but that could be a lot of different places. So
yeah, I was about to say, isn't that Florida in general? Just a mile and a half from the water?
Yeah, I mean, you can.
I mean, I think there's like a couple of spots where it's kind of far from water and it's pretty decent elevation.
Not by me, man. I think I'm maybe 8 feet above sea level.
That tracks. Just waiting to get submerged out there.
Yeah. Yeah, when it rains, the storm drains back up into the street and you can see it flooding everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, we've started to get a bit of a taste for that up here, but nothing like you guys experienced down there. Good friend of mine and his wife, he's former Marine. His wife is active duty Navy, and she just got transferred down just like year and a half ago got transferred down to a base down there, and he's had some culture shock and some environmental shock moving down there and exploring Florida weather and Florida wildlife.
Oh yeah, when it rains like crazy, but more or less wait 15 minutes and the rain will stop.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, the streets flood, and because there's, it's so flat, but it drains away pretty quick.
So also had his wife keeps 2 horses, and he's got 2 Malinois, and they're constantly having a struggle with the local dinosaurs that
the gators
roll through the area. Yeah, the dogs are pretty sure they want to go fight them, and he's like, no,
you're gonna lose that. But
yeah,
I'm not from Florida originally. My wife is, and she's like, yeah, just get in the river, get in the lake. I'm like, I'm not getting in that fresh water. There's no way you're paying me enough money to climb in that water when I know there's a dinosaur in that thing.
Exactly. There's a friend of our show, Doc, who's a business partner of mine with a side venture. He goes down there. He's originally from there, and he went down there to a friend's. I guess I don't know if it was really a farm, but it was like rural property, a whole bunch of acres, whatnot. Him and a bunch of buddies. They're all former Green Berets, and the guy had lost a horse on his property or something to a gator. So they went out there to go hunt the gator with like full battle rattle, full night ops, the whole long thing. And they actually managed to find and kill the gator that was on his property and the livestock. And he brought back like I guess it was like 15-pound piece of gator and grilled it for everybody up there. We had a barbecue.
Yeah, the tail. A lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people like it. I've tried it. It just tastes like weird chicken to me, and
like a drier, tougher chicken.
Yeah, I've never been able to acquire the taste for it, but yeah, I don't mess with the fresh water around here. I've had buddies on the job site tell me, "Oh, Brian, they're just big water dogs. You don't have to be worried about them." Like, nah, that's not going to happen. No, thank you.
Yeah, couldn't pay me to get in that.
Fuck no.
Kind of problems with the seawater and all the critters out there, let alone this, gigantic monsters in the freshwater too. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of alligators, where is Alligator Alcatraz supposed to be? Isn't that like?
That's down south near Miami, I believe.
Yeah.
Seminole lands.
It seems to be where a lot of this crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, they're both related to dinosaurs, so we can only infer the dinosaurs must taste like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that tastes like chicken." It reminds me of like.
It does. It's the same with snakes.
On the post in Hawaii. The guy drives up and he's like, "What do you guys want?" We're like, "Oh, how's that same?" He's like, "Oh, it tastes like chicken, bro." Everything tastes like chicken. Tastes like chicken, bro.
He's not wrong. Yeah, maybe fishy chicken. Yeah,
I don't.
But when we had it marinated,
I mean,
a lot of people eat alligator.
If it's like dry and stringy, like why do that to yourself? Like, just give me some juicy meat.
I mean, it was the gator we had was marinated. It was very tasty. It was texture wise, it was tougher than chicken. It generally tasted like shit, but mostly you tasted the stuff that it was marinated in, just like anything you'd cook.
Taste the marinade.
Yeah, I've tried it plenty of times, and it's not for me. I'll eat just about anything, but it's. Someone said fishy chicken. That's what it tastes like, and it's tough.
The other thing he had us try was bear.
I haven't had that yet. I'd like to try that.
Like the gator, it was really tough, but they basically part of it had been ground up like ground beef, and they'd cooked it and they'd fried it up, and they mixed it with like a cheese sauce and made a dip out of it, and that was some good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like hamburger in cheese kind of like thing, except it was not quite the same.
I mean, you put that much cheese on anything, it's going to taste good.
Exactly, right? Then they had like a roast piece for it. I have no idea how you carve up a bear. They had like a roast that had been done and it had been sliced, and they were having sliced for sandwiches. And this was like a year after I got Ram, my dog, who's half Dalmatian, half German Shepherd, and all attitude problem. And he was with me there because Doc has his brother. Ram has always been a very smart dog, a very manipulative dog, and he had realized that whenever one of the children fell down at this whole big shindig, the adults came running to see what was wrong, and the kid would cry, and all the attention would be there. So he realized that if he ran over and knocked one of the children to the ground, not only was there some quick food to get, but all the adults ran in there. And, as we're all trying to figure out where the dog went, I look back, and sure enough, in the kitchen, he's up on the counter, and he's eating one of the big bear shakes.
Smart dog.
Not always the smartest dog in the world, but he was smarter than all of us that day.
Yeah.
So he likes bear. We'll get you up here next time Doc has a cookout, Tim.
All right, yeah.
We'll get you both here. It'll be fun.
I mean, I guess it depends on what it is. It's like, hey, we got some. We captured a Yeti.
Honestly, it seems like that's what he's going to have to up his game to. And every time it's like him and the rest of the Green Beret Bros went out into the woods and they fought something with knives, and now they've brought it back to eat it.
I heard they're reviving
this point. I haven't questioned it. I'm just like, what was that? 50-foot long boa constrictor? Yeah, all right, sure, probably. It seems just as likely in Florida.
About that, right? Like anaconda.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason that people don't fuck around with that stuff. So let's go try to eat it.
That is the
hires people to go catch those things down in the Everglades. If you want to go hunt giant snakes, you go work for the state doing that down in the Everglades.
That's
I went boar hunting one time, and they gave us like a 12-foot spear that had like several cross pieces right after the blade on this thing was like that big. It was enormous. And then behind it were these bars, these crossbars. There were like 3 of them. Like, what's a crossbars for? It's like, well, when you jam it in there, the boar's going to keep going. So the crossbar is there to stop it. The bar hits his chest. Like, why are there 3 of them? Well, because sometimes they push further. Why are we doing this again? Can't we just shoot them? Oh no!
Again, the former special forces guys are crazy.
Yeah,
this is just how they roll. I guess Florida is just the natural place for them to go to hunt whatever monster they can find out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
you go hunting.
There's a reason.
Yes. There's things out there hunting you back.
There's a reason why it's called the Florida trope. Like that's a thing for a reason. First it was bath salts. Now apparently it's hunting Australian wildlife that's not in Australia that wants to kill you.
Just trying to find those Tyranids.
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what Tyranids are. So Warhammer 40K, D&D.
Dip into my Warhammer 40K nerdness.
Yeah. I have to stress for the person that's going to leave the comments to be like, D&D's not Warhammer 40K. Yeah, I know there's a comment in there. The comment is silent. You talk about multiple things. Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer 40K, banana pudding.
You any tabletop gaming there, Brian?
Yeah, man. There was a long stretch where I did a lot of tabletop gaming. I don't have time for it now, unfortunately. But back in the day, Rollmaster. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It spun off of D&D years and years ago and kind of became its own thing. But I've gamed with my girls a bit. For a while, I had something going online with some friends, but life just kind of gets in the way.
All right, I see we're getting a lot of questions in chat for actual political things. And
okay, lay it on me.
All right. Gold Fusion, give me more to go on with that. What do you mean by human rights issues? I know there's a whole bunch out there, but narrow it down. Somebody else in there.
Can you hunt from a riding lawnmower in Florida?
That was not the question I was expecting. I mean, you can try, see how it goes for you.
If you can get a DUI on a riding lawnmower, then you can hunt from a lawnmower.
You know what?
You're not spotlighted
while you're drunk.
I think that's fair. So, with the current news with this whole Tylenol thing, what do you think about that being down there in Florida with the way kind of the health laws are going down there?
Yeah, the Tylenol thing, that's settled science. There was a study they did of 2.5 million kids that showed no link whatsoever to autism. So I don't know what they're talking about. Like, it literally doesn't make sense. Right now, what we have going on in Florida, if you guys don't know, the Surgeon General of Florida, a medical doctor with a medical license, has decided to make certain vaccines for children of school age, their school age children, optional. So we're talking measles, things like that. I don't know how this doesn't violate a Hippocratic oath. I really don't.
Honestly, it's truly bizarre to watch it play out, especially from up here in another state. Just like, turn on the news, there's Florida, and it's just like they're doing what?
Yeah.
Oh, all vaccines, just roll them all out. There's nothing now. Excellent.
That's like going to church and the preacher is like, there's no God.
Right. You figure the medicine would be kind of a core thing for the doctor to be behind.
Yeah.
Well, I know, right? I'm not a doctor, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're endangering children, vulnerable children, young kids, by not giving them, this standard course of vaccines. So I'm just curious how this is gonna play out, especially for working families. Like, parents that, both parents work, kids start coming down with measles, mumps, rubella. Like, what is that going to do to these families that rely on both of these incomes? When you have very sick children, what's that going to do to our already stressed health insurance industry down here? Like, this is going to get worse before it gets better.
And as always, we're one interconnected nation. So one outbreak in one state soon gets legs and travels to another state.
And it bears remembering that Florida is a tourist destination. Like, we used to get a lot of people from Canada, but from the rest of the country, they come down here to vacation. So they're going to be bringing whatever they get here back to your communities.
Yeah.
And this was the same state, like, when COVID was just starting to become a big thing. People were concerned about, like, getting on the interstate and trying to drive to Florida and being turned away from the state. Like, oh, they blockaded the interstates. They're not letting anybody drive through. And now it's like, fuck vaccines.
Welcome to the free state of Florida.
So we've, to dovetail off what Cold Fusion is asking there, we've recently seen in Orlando all the stuff around the Pulse nightclub and the efforts to cover over a rainbow sidewalk because colors are evil and against the state's mandates.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit. What can the state legislature do to push back against a governor who's looking to just take away what little safe space marginalized communities have in that state?
So if we're specifically talking about, like, the artwork on crosswalks, I think there's definitely legislation we could pass that would codify the ability of municipalities or cities or counties to decorate said crosswalks as they see fit. It wasn't a problem 6 months ago. It wasn't a problem 2 months ago. Especially the one outside of Pulse. Like, that was a memorial to people that were murdered. taking that away in the middle of the night just demonstrates how little regard these marginalized communities are held in by those in power in this state. To those of you that live in Florida, we need to start protecting and uplifting some of these communities to make sure that their history is not erased. But as far as the legislature, we have to get out there and enable communities to decorate how they want to decorate. I don't know how to make it any more clear than that. There is a trend in Florida politics, and I saw it specifically. It affected me in my work for the state preempting localities doing what they want to do. The government closest to the people is supposed to serve the people best. That's true unless you're talking about the state level. You guys still hear me? Everybody's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. We had an apprenticeship ordinance in the city of St. Petersburg and in the city of Tampa. What this ordinance said was when the city spends over $1 million on a project, so many hours, it was a percentage. So 15% of the hours has to be worked by registered apprentices. These are people that are in a registered apprenticeship program that's certified by the state and the U.S. Department of Labor that they're going to teach you the things they say you're going to teach. And it's a quality program. The city of St. Petersburg had this. We were going to have the Rays build a new stadium in St. Petersburg, plus the 80 acres around it they were going to redevelop, all of which was going to be covered by this apprenticeship ordinance. So we were going to train people how to be electricians, plumbers and pipe fitters, HVAC techs, iron workers. The list goes on. These people were going to start their apprenticeship there, potentially finish it 5 years later, and keep working on these projects with good paying middle-class jobs, with health insurance, with pensions, all the benefits that come with being in a union.
Not to mention the tax revenue from those good jobs that goes into those local municipalities and helps to improve their community.
So the city got sued by the ABC, that's the Associated Builders and Contractors, who I will mention have registered apprenticeship programs. They sued the city saying, you can't do that. You're not allowed to dictate the conditions of employment, that's what they called it, to employers. So there was also a returning citizens ordinance, disadvantaged workers, all these things to get the community, the members of the community, into these good paying jobs to uplift that community in St. Petersburg. ABC sued them. The city won. The court said, yeah, go ahead, go for it. It's fine. ABC appealed it. In the meantime, the legislature passed and the governor signed a preemption bill, which basically said, yeah, cities, counties, municipalities can't govern these conditions of employment. You can't tell an employer that they have to have so many apprentices on the job, or you can't hire local or anything like that. You have to hire local, excuse me. So when that legislation came back down, the appeals court basically said, it's out of our hands. We can't do anything. This ordinance is gone. So we had work for years lined up that was going to benefit that community around the gas plant district, which was a Black community that was basically bulldozed to build Tropicana Field. This was going to be targeted in those areas that were disadvantaged to do a little bit of social justice, right some wrongs, but get these people into the middle class, get them skills that they can take to go work anywhere they want. And all of that was taken away. Down in Miami, they had a heat stress ordinance that when it gets so hot, the employer is required to provide you shade, provide you ice water. And as it got hotter, those conditions got longer. So you had to have longer breaks. They had a prevailing wage ordinance in Miami-Dade, and it's been there for decades. All that got stripped out by this legislation. So this is just a pattern of behavior in Florida that you see when localities try to do stuff for their citizens that, for whatever reason, if the state government doesn't like it, they pass laws to say, no, you can't do that. And it's just a pattern of behavior down here.
So with that, and since we touched on trade specifically there, what do you see as something you will be able to do to help expand access to learning the trades as a professional? Since as a profession, this has not been my night. Given that it is a underserved job sector in the United States in terms of growth membership versus demand in the overall economy, it's something we do not produce enough plumbers, enough electricians, enough HVAC techs to handle all the jobs that we have here. And if you look to, looking ahead to places like certain parts of Europe, where a lot of those same trades are basically done by immigrants who have moved into the country from other countries where they had already learned those trades, because people are not being steered towards them. They're not being shown that as a career path. How can you help to promote that, to ebb that trend, to promote the growth of trades?
We need to put more money, more funding into registered apprenticeship programs. So to be clear, like a trade apprenticeship program, be it union or non-union, if it's registered, it's going to be multi-year. You cannot make someone an electrician in 6 weeks. You can call that an apprenticeship all you want. That's not a true apprenticeship. I went through a 5-year program. It's now a 4-year program. But to really train someone to do a job, be it any job, you can teach them basic proficiency in 6 weeks. It takes years to actually make someone truly skillful at a job. College is 4 years. There's a reason registered apprenticeship programs are as long as they are, because one, the work we do is dangerous. I mean, dealing with electricity is dangerous. It will kill you.
Yes, very dangerous.
You don't respect it. I mean, I regularly worked on 480 3-phase, and we had all sorts of procedures that made us de-energize it as much as possible because it is that dangerous. So to get back to your question, fund these programs as much as possible, because I'm sure you guys got the same speech I got when I was coming out of high school. Go to college, go to college, go to college.
Yeah.
These blue-collar jobs are a great path to the middle class, and we need to make sure they're fully funded, that there are registered apprenticeship programs in every community, that opportunity is available to everybody that wants it. We actually have our first-year curriculum in a high school in the Tampa area. So the high school students enroll in this program. It's 2 years. When they finish, they've already completed our first-year curriculum. After they graduate, we have like a signing day or a draft day. They pick the local they're going to go to, and most of them go to 915, where I'm from. They roll straight into second year. These guys and girls are already on the job working. They've got the book learning. Now they need to get the hands-on time out in the field. So any way to really encourage that in high school and middle school, that's really where you need to start teaching people about the trades and what it actually has to offer. Yeah, the work's hot. Yeah, the work's dirty. It's not all like that, but you can make a great living. I'll be honest with you. I have former apprentices working up north. They're telling me they're getting $5,000 a month into their pension.
I believe it. I absolutely do.
Into their pension. And there's sometimes like, I love what I do. I love being an organizer, but I see their paycheck stubs. They're sending me pictures, and I'm like, you guys are making it a week what I make in a month. It's like, what am I doing? Like, there's so much money to be made out there that it is ridiculous. And right now, it is better than I've ever seen it. If you want to get into the trades, this is the time to do it.
I have a very good friend who's actually a fellow 40K player, plays orcs. He's I forget what grade he is, electrician. Mm-hmm. And he's able, despite the relatively high cost of living here outside the city of brotherly love, he's able to make a pretty damn good living. Mm-hmm. And it's not a reach at all. His wife is I believe she teaches like kindergarten, I think, or first grade, something like that. It's not exactly a high income, but they're able to afford the middle class life because trade jobs pay.
Yeah, they do. And I'll tell you that we have plenty of our members that get paid more than what's in our contract because they're good at what they do. The contractor wants to keep them happy, so they pay them what they have to keep them there.
Yeah, it's electricity in particular. I do not fuck with. I was an engineering major. I have a degree in computer engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering both. I have electrocuted myself more times than I care to with either working on machinery or some other dumb thing because I didn't follow some things, or if I got a wire that I had that was still live, and or when my lab partners made a certain decision. And these things happen, but you know what? That is a life lesson you do not quickly forget.
Oh yeah, like when it bites hard, and you'll remember that.
You do, you really do, because for those of you who have never been electrocuted, don't. It sucks. It really does. Also, the smell of burnt hair just like never leaves your mind. It's always there somewhere in the back in here, just like still. Remind you, hey, remember this? Oh, thanks for ruining what I was eating. Excellent. Thank you, brain.
Yeah. There's a picture that goes around of a sticker. It's, what is it? Electricity is trying to kill you, and it will kill you, and it'll hurt every second that you're dying. And
yes,
that is true. So,
but it remains something I will not do as a DIY project in my own house. I'll replace different fixtures, the pipe. I'll fix drywall, paint things. I ain't touching the damn switches. No, sir.
I personally hate drywall because it's dirty and I can never get it to look good. So I was
it doesn't look great, but you know what? It's the price is right. So
electricity is so clingy. Yeah, it is clingy.
True. But yeah, back to the main point though.
Yeah.
Trade jobs are good careers, and I'm glad to hear that you've got a plan to help potentially bring forth a path that more people could benefit from this.
Yeah, it's honestly at this point, we've got to look out for ourselves because no one's coming to save us. So, what can I do to strengthen the middle class, ease the affordability crisis? Those are the two focuses of my campaign. And like I said, I go to all these different caucus meetings, all these different constituency groups, and it's like the same 5 issues that keep coming up, and it all circles around being able to afford to live where we live. It is a tourist destination. This is where people come to vacation. They come to our beaches, they come to our theme parks.
It's true.
How do we keep it affordable for the people that live here? That is the question and mission for my campaign.
Pivoting
on
to
the
another
subject
topic. Go ahead,
of blue collar and trades and things like that. What's the atmosphere, I guess, on the ground there with regards to? Obviously, there are a lot of people who are not white working in a lot of these fields, and obviously, we've got ICE running around and people pretending to be ICE. How's that impacting this whole environment, do you think, down there where you are?
So the industry is where my local typically works right now. Honestly, that's not affecting us too much. You'll see it more in the residential work for electrical work, which we don't do a whole lot of. And that gets into the economics in the market, how they pay these guys. But I mean, I've seen trucks pulled over by ICE agents checking papers on the side of the highway. It happens down here pretty regularly. At some point, it's going to bite hard enough that it's going to hit the residential market because immigrants, documented or not, they're the ones doing the majority of the work in the residential market. And either they're going to leave or be made to leave, unfortunately. And it's going to affect the cost of housing even more than we've already experienced.
Which is pretty ass.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about that story out of Chicago with the 6-man crew that was doing a roof on a suburban house, and ICE rolled up on it, probably called by a neighbor, And they immediately went over and they knocked all their ladders down and then demanded the guys jump off the roof to surrender to them.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that. It was a bunch of guys stuck on top of a half-built house.
Yeah. So 5 of them ended up jumping. Unfortunately, ICE couldn't count. So one of the guys just stayed up there and they didn't realize it. They arrested the 5 guys who had jumped, though one of the guys was pretty badly injured. I think he broke his leg. And every single one of these guys was legal. Every single one of them was a legal immigrant working there, completely on books. Everything was fine, but I still disrupted the whole day. Sent the one guy to the hospital. And as of our publishing yesterday, still hadn't released them. They were still detaining these guys. They're losing out on the whole day of work. Plus, that
one guy is injured. I mean, he's going to be out for weeks.
Yeah,
he broke his leg.
Yeah, I don't know if they were a union job or whatnot, but what's going to be paid to his family?
It doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, his family still needs a paycheck. So
yeah.
Like I said, we do a lot of commercial and industrial work, so access is a little more limited. I don't know how much that would actually affect these guys, but like rolling into a power plant is a little different than going through a residential neighborhood.
Right.
So,
just wild to see what's become in this country.
Yeah.
One of these days, somebody's going to get fed up. Somebody's going to get their ass whipped. And then you're right, anti-ice on their knuckles.
Patently photoshopped on, like badly photoshopped with like the
with
wrong
auto
font.
pen. Yeah.
With auto pen.
Times New Roman.
It's like off center. It's clearly, it's over the shadow. And
oh God, don't give them any ideas.
The Three Stooges running the FBI these days is just unbelievable.
Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read the chat, but my eyes have gone to hell. I need new glasses.
Who are you running against, if any?
Who am I running against? So I hoped I was going to get this question. There is one Republican in the field. There are no Democrats besides myself. The one Republican, I am not making this up, goes by the name of Lionheart.
Is that the name that his mama gave him?
That is the last name he registered his campaign under.
So that's the last name.
That's the last name. I think the first name is Amaro.
Okay.
I'll look it up real quick if you want.
Excellent. You're running against an 80s cartoon villain.
That's like the name of my D&D character. I'm the paladin, Sir Lionel. My coat of arms is a pineapple.
Pineapple?
That wouldn't surprise me.
No comments.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, Amaro Lionheart.
All right. Okay. Well, so if you can find the 5 keys to Voltron and then form the giant robots, you have the key to defeat him.
In all form.
If I can find, yeah.
Go ahead.
Here, I'll throw the link in the Ballotpedia. I couldn't believe this when I read it, but there he is.
Now I gotta read this.
Who's that in the chat?
That's in the studio chat. I don't know if you want to throw it in. There it is.
Something with my internet tonight is just absolute garbage. Thanks, Xfinity. Again.
Wait.
It says he's registered for a different district, but he changed it to 14 recently. They haven't updated their website, just FYI.
Did he change his name? Like, did he just decide?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm not going to be Nelson Amador anymore. I'm going to be Nielsen Amaro Lionheart. What? That's dedication to being white passing. Yes. I'm going to pick a Scandinavian name and then an English king's name.
All right, you know what? It's Florida. It's the 21st century. Let's roll on, right?
I mean, he's the only other person that's registered, so
he's the opponent. He's the opponent.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, right through.
The registration deadline isn't until June, so there's plenty of time for other people to jump in. But right now, it's him and myself. The incumbent, obviously, is our lieutenant governor now, so he won't show up.
Since he's moved on, he's not in.
Yep.
Well, it's like the coach used to say: you're lining up against the guy you're lining up against. You don't get to pick.
Yep.
That's the opponent, then that's who you got to defeat.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have a year before the primary election, so things are going to change. This is where it is now.
Yeah.
So, I just got to keep focused on, fundraising, talking to people, door knocking, making phone calls. That's where I'm focused right now. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this, man.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get over this Lion-O guy.
I like we went from Voltron to Thundercats.
Oh!
You're hitting all the 80s notes today.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not new.
Voltron and yeah.
As soon as I can work in Stringfellow Hawk, we're getting some Airwolf in there too.
Was but a flesh wound.
This is how we get derailed.
Yeah, I know. Well, you guys asked about my opponent, and I had to share. So
it's too good to pass up. Honestly, it's.
Yeah,
I hope he ends up being your opponent. Some of the ads write themselves there.
You could
let's
totally make tons of memes about this guy and just get them out on social media and get people in the district sharing them, and just people will be like, I'm not voting for this dork.
Someone asked, does 14 cover Clearwater? It's Dog Mom. No, it does not. It stops at the Hillsborough Pinellas line. Yeah, I agree. Airwolf did have the best theme.
And now we can hear it on the kazoo.
Oh my god.
What's the story with the kazoo, man? I gotta know.
Yeah. I went to Beaufort with my wife. We were shooting some documentary footage, and there's a kazoo factory down there. So
of course
I got a kazoo, and there's not really a place for it, so I just keep it at my desk, and every so often I just pick it up and start annoying the shit out of people with the kazoo. I play a video game where there's an in-game voiceover chat, and I'll just randomly hit the transmit button and start playing the kazoo for everybody.
Yeah,
it's a war crime. It's a literal war crime.
I can tell you, if I did that kazoo would disappear into a trash can when I wasn't looking.
Force multiplier. People are like,
it's true. People are too busy rage typing in the chat to actually fight the battle.
What are you doing? You shot me. Type kill.
Yeah. No, not everyone on staff is sold on the kazoo, but he's the boss. So what can you do?
You got to deal with it. All right.
I mean,
you might have a grievance. If you had a union, we could file a grievance against him.
See, I'm liking this better.
Environment, I'm
liking this.
I'm gonna put a ukulele on our Amazon wish list.
Oh God, no!
And I'll show up one day and just be like,
doing your best, Tiny Tim.
You should get a banjo, Laley.
He'll do it.
Idea.
He can actually play, so that threat has some legs.
Put anything on an Amazon wish list.
Excuse me.
Abuse that for bad. All right. We're actually going to need to wrap it up because we have a Discord staff meeting coming up here shortly.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Good. Spent all day in meetings, and now I go to a Sons of Liberty
Talk
staff
about
meeting.
messaging.
That sounds familiar.
I'm going to make that quick, though, because I need some more of this. So,
do we have time for me to refill my drink before the meeting?
We still have to end the stream. Like we're not there yet. We got
right. Sorry.
In the stream, go make a drink, and then be late to the staff meeting.
I say, Brian, you've been a ton of fun, man. I hope we are able to get you back on here again.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anytime. Just let me know, and we'll work something out. I know it's been kind of crazy the past couple weeks, and struggled to find a date. But I'm hoping it's going to settle down now that I can get into a rhythm, and find another time, whatever you guys want. Just let me know.
Absolutely, man.
Now, are you're locked in, right? You're good to go for the ballot. Like you don't have to fill out a bunch of stuff and raise money.
I still have to, actually qualify. So either I can pay or qualify by petition. I think they're qualified by, if you pay, it's like $1,700. It's not much. So I don't have to do that yet. That deadline isn't until June, but I am a registered candidate right now.
So we have to follow up with you before June to make sure that you're good to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And if anybody somehow has missed it all this time, Brian for FL is the website. It's linked in the video or linked on the screen for a video, and it'll be in the information for the video when this posts.
For FL, not for Florida.
Not for Florida, for FL.
Just forful.
There you go. And don't worry about spelling Brian right. I got both Brian with an I and Brian with a Y because I know.
But you have brain for FL.
Yes, for FL. So I almost said it. Yeah, I screwed that one up.
Yeah.
All
right. You're sticking ahead. I appreciate that.
All right, Brian. Thanks very much for being with us and for taking time out of your day with the hotel wallpaper in the background.
Gotta do what I gotta do, man. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And sorry I couldn't answer everybody's questions in the chat, but maybe next time.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
We will definitely be reaching out to have you back.
All right. Have a good evening, guys.
Thank you, too.
2 claps and a Rick.
Woo!